Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to WOR Legacy Division. We are here tonight for season number 5. It's qualifying night, and we take in, of course, the Portuguese Grand Prix for the qualifiers here tonight in WOR Legacy Division. It's a little bit rushed because the drivers are beginning to get out on track, but my name is James Head. I'm going to be taking you to the stream, of course, as always, on this fine Tuesday evening. We are indeed back, and joining me in the commentary box is Sheffield Wednesday's #1 fan. It is Mr. Jota. Jota, how you doing?
Not #1 fan at the moment. We're struggling, but hi, hello guys. Nice to be back with you. Actually, this is going to be an absolute pleasure to be back with you for the World Series. Of course, everyone getting themselves ready in the World cars for this one before they get fitted into their constructors. But plenty of teams out there. 24 of them looking to hog the 9 spots to take a real chunk of the prize pool.
Indeed, and let's have a quick look. You can see the drivers out on track, but let's have a quick look and see who is in what lobby. You might have just caught a glimpse of it right at the start of the stream, but if you didn't, XPG are in. XPG Esports alongside with TTM. Then it's Novus Racing who make their triumphant return after a couple of weeks out on the console side. They are back here for the WR Legacy Division. Then it's the Inter Racing Series who are joining us for the first time in qualifiers. TRT are also back with a very good lineup, I'm going to say, with Brando and 2D going to be representing them. CPI are in, along with Ultra Racing Team, who have actually been swapped, I think, to the next lobby for Lobby 3. They read it a little bit wrong. And Team GeForce are in qualifying for the first time as well. But as I say, it is literally action-packed. We are going to get on very soon in terms of the laps, and it looks like the TRT man of 2D is first up on the run down in towards turn 1 at Primera. So let's run on board with the TRT man of 2D. Coming through the right-hand of turn 1, of course, VSR man back in the day in Legacy Division. Really fighting the car aggressively. Through the right-hand of turn 2, through the left-hander now at turn 4, running down in towards Torrevip at turn 5. And 2D will be looking to try and set a 21, mid-21. 21.7 in that first sector from 2D in what can only be described as a Knight Rider car, could I say, from 2D. Running now through the left-hander of turn 6 and in towards the double right-handers of turn 7 and then through the right-hander again of turn 8. This has not looked a bad lap at all from 2D. We should get 4 laps actually in, 4 qualifiers for all of these drivers out on track, and 2D now coming up in towards the Algarve section, the roller coaster section as we like to call it, of course, here, 50.8 in the middle sector. 2D is not looking bad at all on this lap, Jota.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting to shame our predictions of TRT not qualifying. I mean, they are a firm favourite, aren't they, are the team? But we both elected not to put them in proximity of this particular qualifier. But we'll see how they come across then up on the curb. We're losing a lot of time, actually, up on that curb. But maybe we'll save some in the process of making sure the corner is cut finally with a 1:15.609. So setting a firm benchmark. We'll see what the others have got.
Jeslar now coming through the final couple of corners on the run toward the line. Looks like Flopman goes second as well. Jeslar now coming the line, goes quickest and only by 0.06 of a second. So Jeslar looking quicker so far. Quantum, though, comes in with a quantum leap with a 15.5. Very good lap time there from the Novus Racing man. Jeslar there in second, 2D there in third. BQC Games now coming through the final corner as well. Have got my notes. I will run you through who is in what lobby and what team, in fact. BQC Games coming to the line there in P8. Thomas Covers now back in the pit lane, and Azurk looks like he's back off his lap time as well. But Quantum out on top, Jeslar second, 2D in third, and to be honest, Jota, I am not at all surprised by who's filling out the top 5 right now.
Yeah, no surprises there with TRT towards the top there. 88 Jamie as well. Jamie's always the driver to keep an eye out on as well. But Quantum, as you said, Quantum Leap's quite flying high at the moment with that 1:15.5. The only person to get into the 1:15.5s. But look how close it is between Jeslar and Tudy, though, with a 6:03 and a 6:09. That will set the precedent for what has been, I think, probably a couple of seasons of qualifying, hasn't it? Where it's been really, really close down to the thousandths of a second, not just within qualifying as in to qualify for the event, but qualifying generally in World. It's always been within thousandths of a second. So that's a precedent setter if I've not seen one before.
Yeah, definitely. So looking through, by the way, in terms of who we got driving for each team out on track tonight, XPG Esports have got Immortals and Martin in. Supposed to be XPG, I think, within the lobby. Top Tier Motorsport have got Flopman and Thomas Covers in. Now, we definitely know they are here, and they're definitely here in the session in P7 and P10, currently right out on track. Novus Racing have got Gabor and Quantum in. Team IRS have got Hup Ace and Azeri even. Azerk actually being Azeri. That is my fault in terms of the notes that I did before we came live. Tatum Racing Team, or TRT, for Brando and Tudi. CPI have got Jeslar and Jamie. Then MSRT have got Angelo Pavone and Davide Trane. I hope I pronounced that right. And then Team G-Force, I've got TGF Neo and TGF Wards. Wards is in there. Team G-Force, of course, I've got, I believe, is BQC Games, their other driver out on track. All different. I've taken the Discord name, so it's probably confusing you, but just sort out and maybe let us know in the comment section who's in what team, so I can at least update my notes.
Yeah, I mean, for example, there you've got Wards there with the Alien Motorsport tag, actually. AMS will be taking part in the qualifying for the World Online Racing Legacy Division a little bit later on in this stream, but Ward's actually representing Team G-Force in this particular event, to say the least, as looks like Tex has actually just managed to rejoin into the session there. Jamie immediately leaving out on the lap, though, following the ET8 man, former ET8 man, that is, anyway, as he is just heading around turn 4 at the moment. So it is going to be, you know, a fun time now. This is the bit where everyone's set their first initial lap. Some people will be happy, some people won't be. Flopman, I know, will know that he's definitely got more pace in him than a 16.0. His teammate actually still yet to set a lap at the moment in Thomas Covers down in 10th. So plenty of drivers yet to set a precedent at the moment as well. So, you know, this is all of, you've got 12 minutes to go now. The clock is ticking, and the drivers will be a little bit apprehensive here. If they've made a mistake on the first occasion, are they going to be nervous for the following 3 laps that they've got remaining?
Yeah, you'd like to imagine so. Gaborna coming through the final corner at Galp through turn number 15, takes a gulp actually coming through turn 15 with how downhill that is. To the line goes 4th position for Novus Racing. Quantum there in 1st currently for them. Jeslar 2nd for CPI. TLT 2D there currently in 3rd. We've got Josh B13X on a lap time right now, and also Thomas Covers on a lap time right now. In fact, Thomas Covers is just ahead of him, so we're right on board with the TTM man now coming through the left-hander in toward this roller coaster section, in toward Portimao, right at the top of the hill. Calls the village, named about half an hour away from the track, 50.9 in that middle sector from Thomas Covers. Will the Covers be coming off TTM session here early on in Legacy Division? Let's find out with Thomas Covers now through the right-hander of turn number 14 and then into the right-hander of turn number 15 at Gap. This is my favourite track to commentate on. George Morgan in the chat, by the way. Definitely not going to be getting me at Cameron Dowds like he did last night in PSGL. Thomas Covers now through the final corner on the run to the line. 15.6. Not a bad lap time there at all from him. And Josh comes in with a 16.1.
Yeah, not too bad, that 15.6 as well. I think that sets the precedent really now for Flotman. Needs to get within those 15.6s to be close to him, to give TTM the opportunity to qualify in this one as well. Plenty of other people on out laps at the moment. Azerk and Tex also on laps. Well, Tex obviously disconnecting from the first set of laps, so he has got a fresh car and a fresh set of tyres ready to go. But Martin also yet to get out into the pit lane at the moment, so still plenty of people looking to try and get out there at the moment. Games just coming across the line as well as Flotman comes across the line. There's the precedent for TTM, 15.4. Yeah,
15.4, very neat lap time there from TTM Flotman. Quantum now 2nd, Jeslar there in 3rd. On board with the Zerk now coming to the left hand at turn number 4. He's just starting up on his lap time right now for the Inter-Racing Series. They're qualifying, I believe, for the first time here. With a 22 flat in the first sector, not looking too bad at all. Let me know, by the way, if everything is a-okay in terms of the stream. I can see it fluctuating a little bit, so that's why I'm just saying that right now, before everything just begins to hit the fan. Azerk validates, though, coming from the right-hander turn number 8, and has a huge snap of oversteer as well now, coming in towards turn number 9, and he is definitely not happy with that. You can tell by that weaving that he just did there. He is definitely not happy with that. He's backing off his lap time, but Flopman leading the way. ET8 Jamie now in 2nd. Good lap time from him. The CPI man, of course, former ET8 man within his gamer tag. Probably can't afford, I think, to change CPI from ET8, I think, within his gamer tag. Quantum there for Jeslar there in 4th. Glad that the stream is holding up well. I'm glad you are all tuning in. 160 of you tuning in, and we've barely scratched the surface of what's to come with some of the teams I've tried.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to every single one of you tuning in as well. It's been a while, hasn't it, since we've been here with World Action, so it's going to be fun. IRS really struggling then with the Zerk, who now comes into the pit lane once again. Again, this is coming to that question, isn't it? Is confidence starting to wane a little bit? Are people starting to get a little bit nervous? If you didn't manage to set at least some kind of conservative lap time, they're going to have to push that little bit harder, and they're prone to making mistakes if they haven't even set a lap time in the first place. So at the moment, though, the advantage is definitely going to be falling in the form of TTM with that 15.4. Thomas covers with a 15.6, 15.5 average. Not too bad for TTM in that one as well. TRT will certainly be happy as well with Tudy and Brando, but a bit more pace to find perhaps for Brando. But Quantum will be really happy alongside Jeslar, 15.5, 15.6 for them as well. So a little bit of a mixed bag out there, but 15.6 is a lot of the times that we're starting to see out there at the moment. I'm wondering if that's going to be the average time across the rest of the teams.
Yeah, you'd like to imagine so. I think there is going to be a lot of improvement, I think, as the session goes on. I could honestly see 15.2s, 15.1s maybe from a couple of teams here tonight as well. Tex there coming across the line to go with 16.1 into 11th position. Ward's there in 9th as well. That's a very nice looking livery, I've got to say, by Team G-Force, matching their turquoise blue that they've got within their logo. I absolutely love that. It's the best livery that I've seen tonight, and at least they've made an effort, unlike half of the teams with their liveries.
Yeah, just sticking out there with the regular livery that you get from the game as well. That horrible purple livery that I've really been able to get along with, to be honest with you as well. Quantum just starting a lap himself now, looking to improve on his 15.5, trying put a little bit of competition on Jamie and Flopman at the moment. So a little bit on the entry of turn 3, going through 4, a little bit of extra curb perhaps in what he would have wanted. Going down then towards the first checkpoint there, and of course it's just a little bit under a tenth down on his fastest lap at the moment. So a little bit more pace to find here for Quantum.
Yeah, let's try and onboard them now. We're actually on board with Gabor. Actually, his teammate, he was up about a tenth and a half through the first sector. Quantum is looking not too bad either. Now coming through turn and right. Really, really neat line, I'm going to say, coming through that corner. Look very much absolutely apexing on the curb, and this is really good so far from Quantum. 50.5 middle sector, 50.7 in the middle sector. Much nicer. Purple in that middle sector. Gabor actually is about to come toward the line, and actually just to get to the line when I miss him. The goal's third position though, 15.5 from his perspective. Quantum now coming to the final corner. Makes a slight mistake actually. Runs wide through turn number 14, needing toward the MotoGP layout, of course, that we've got around this track. Now coming to the right-hand with turn number 15, Quantum. Is it going to be a leap of epic proportions for Quantum? Kind of. Goes second, 15.4. 10th improvement, he'll be happy with that.
0.03 of a second down on Flopman, but that means that Novus Racing showing the consistency that they need to win a championship after, well, arguably was in a competition fight last season, so they had the opportunity to get in there, and they needed to find that consistency. Well, the qualifiers are showing that they've been working on that. 0.07 of a second separating the pair of them, but again, 0.03 between them and Flopman, so really, really close stuff here. I'm thoroughly looking forward to seeing what the other laps are going to be like as well. Martin also just on a lap. He's just set a 21.3 in the first sector, so a little bit more pace to find for Martin, losing the rear ever so slightly up on the curb.
Yeah, Thomas Covers now coming through the final couple of corners. He's now on the run toward the line as well for TTM. Top tier Motorsport, hopefully going to be top tier once again in terms of Legacy Division. In the end, he does improve 0.03 of a second. Jeslar's actually in behind him on the lap as well for CPI. He's a tenth and a half up nearly coming through this middle sector split. So let's ride on board with the CPI man now. Coming through the final couple of corners, if I'm not mistaken, Jeslar was not part of the Legacy Division lineup that qualified then. Remember Igor Jelen in Season 4 from the CPI doing the business, of course, in the Netherlands. Jeslar down the run to the line. Goes quickest. Goes quickest ahead of Flopman, and Flopman will try and respond to that a little bit, but Jeslar now out on top. Flopman in second, Quantum there in third. Quite a few in the chat for CPI, by the way, saying that they're not going to qualify, and they're really, really up against it. First and fourth position, both their drivers within 0.02 of a second of each other. I'd take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I said the CD Phoenix Igniters wouldn't qualify, actually, for this event. So, obviously, under the radar of just managing to sneak in that heroic effort from Igor Jelen back in the qualifiers. So, I was thinking, they're just going to miss out on this occasion. I thought they'd be the 11th or the 12th place team overall. But not so far with Jeslar's performance going straight to the front with a 15.4. As you said, though, I expect averaging out at the moment around about a 15.5, so the track is getting quicker with only 4 minutes to go. Maybe 15.2's on the horizon. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see indeed. Hopefully you can all hear me okay. It was just lagging a little bit on my end when he was speaking there. Jeslar out on top, Flopman in second. Quantum there currently in third, looking to try and get some really good lap times on the board. Zerk won't though, he'll be into the pit lane right now, as will I think AMS Ward, the team G-Force, he's going to be in the pit lane as well. Definitely feeling the G-Force, I've got to feel. They're down in 9th position right now as well. Texas on a lap time now coming through the right-hander of turn number 8, and then running up towards Portimao, turn number 10-11. This is looking like a really neat lap so far from him. Just need to find something in the middle sector, I think. Round about a 51 flat, I think, would suffice. Text through the middle sector. Oh, call me Mr. James. 51 flat, dead on, through the middle sector. This is looking better for the man in 11th.
Yeah, much better now. Here he comes then through the final couple of corners. Tex looking to try and set at least some kind of precedent at the moment for their team here as he comes across then through the right-hander and then down with overtake being used. Of course, the revolutionised versions of the ERS system allowing for a different management of these laps. Comes across the line. Only 9th fastest, though, with a 15.8. Finds 0.3 of a second on his previous lap, but still well off the pace of the intermediate.
Yeah, 15.8, it's still, though, it could be a time where it might just sneak them in toward the end of the sessions after Lobby 2, and indeed in Lobby 3. You never know in Legacy Division, you never know what may happen next. Looking through, Brando is just about to start up on a lap time, as is, Black dot on my screen, which is Quantum. Didn't want to say a black car, because otherwise that would have come across a little bit racist, but Quantum now coming down the hill in towards turn number 1. Let's run on board with the NVR man, and let's see what he can do. 15.43 at his current best. Jeslo on a 14.421, sorry, a 15.421, and a 15.435 flop man there in second. Quantum now coming through the left-hander of turn number 4. Really neat. Coming through turn number 4. First sector split, I think, should be up. He is by a 10th of a second. Quantum looking good, but he needs to put it in the middle part of the lap.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's an important set of laps now. Of course, this is the final run for a lot of people here. In fact, it will be the final run for the majority of the people out here because, of course, there's only a minute and a half left. So this is the last lap for all these people here. Quantum working his hardest at the moment to try and keep up that pressure towards the front here. 0.3 of a second separating him from second place. Jeslar not too far in front either, and he's found nearly a 10.5 in the second sector. He's flying out there at the moment. It's Quantum for Novus Racing. Novus wants to set an early precedent as Tex is retired in the pit lane. He's happy with 9th and a 15.8. Across the final couple of corners then for Quantum, looking to try and set that, set the timing boards alight here. Are we going to see 15.3s? Are we going to see potentially 15.2s, I wonder, as he comes across the line right now with a woman at 15.274.
What is Flopman doing? Flopman's invalidated, so I don't think... Is he going to get another lap time in? It doesn't look like he might. The TTM man in third, one to watch out for. Jamie through the first sector. Didn't see what his first sector was like. Yeah, Flopman definitely does need to get a move on indeed. Gabor there just starting up on a lap time. 2D on the run to the line. Goes 5th ahead of Gabor. So 300th improvement there ahead of Gabor. Goes there into 5th. TLT are not looking safe, I've got to be honest right now. Brando a 10th down in the first sector as well. So that's going to put TLT under pressure. Thomas covers through the middle sector.
Oh, wow.
TTM. He is up in the middle sector. You've gone, oh wow, at something.
Martin, he's come straight into the pit lane. He retires out of the session. His team are not going to have one of their drivers qualifying. That is detrimental for Martin and the rest of the team. We'll have to see what that will do to the final results, but no doubt that's going to send them right to the back.
It is indeed Jamie now coming through the final couple of corners. One of the main protagonists now in this qualifying session for Lobby 1 now through the final corner on the run toward the line. Let's see what Jamie can do. Does he find time? No, a 10.5 down in the end. Flopman just starting up on another lap time. Jeslar is invalid, so he's not going to get another one in. Neither is 2D. Neither is Gabor. He's also invalidated, so I think the man to watch out for is Flopman, but he's not doing anything special, the Frenchman, in the first sector. Flopman not looking to flop here for TTM tonight, coming out through the right-hand of turn number 7, and then through the right-hander of turn number 8 through Craig Jones' corner. Just has a bit of snap of oversteer. Might lose the time. He is running very low on fuel as well, which is trying to maximise, I think, his time out on track. The Frenchman now coming up the hill in toward the right-hander now of turn number 11 at Portimao, and in toward the left-hander of turn number 12. Does find a little bit of time, but he's not up in that middle sector still. A 10th down. A Zerk there leaving the session. 17.2. Not going to cut it at all for Team IRS. Ward's there down, and BQC Games down as well. BQC Games, in fact, is coming through behind Flopman, I believe, out on track. But Flopman now coming through the right-hander of turn number 15 at Galp on the run toward the line. Let's see what the TTM man can do. Is it going to be a special final sector from the Frenchman? No, it's not. He remains a 10.5 down. Stays P3. Quantum out on top. Jeslo there in second. Flopman there in third. So, NVR first, CPI second, Flopman there for TTM in third. Top 3 teams are different. Jamie, Tootie, Gabor, Thomas covers, Brando the top 8, and then it's Tex and Josh ran off the top 10.
Yeah, important to recognise, though, folks, that position in this qualifier does not matter. It's all about that time. So 2nd through 8th are so closely compact with each other. That's going to make for a very competitive qualifying result at the end of these qualifiers for sure. But Quantum, with that 15-2, surely has set the intermediate time before Novus Racing and sent them into the World Online Racing's Legacy Division Season 5.
Glad we don't get a black screen, by the way, for the results like I normally do on PlayStation. Quantum leading the way from Jeslar in second, a 10th and a half up from Quantum to compare to Jeslar. Flopman there in third with Jamie in fourth, Tootie there in fifth with Gabor there in sixth, Thomas covers in seventh, Brando in eighth, Tex in ninth, and Josh rounding off the top 10. Wards there in 11th, 7.5 tenths covering the top 11 is not bad at all, given the quality of the grid and given how we've only had 14 drivers within this lobby. BQC Games there down in 12th, Azurk there in 13th, and Martin not getting a lap time in, right down in P14. But Quantum out on top, Jesel there in second, Flopman there in third. Let's take, though, a bit of a deep dive into what is going to be occurring. That's already Lobby 1. Those were the teams competing in that Lobby 1. This is going to be Lobby 2, and we are going to be going to that in a few moments' time. And this, honestly, I think is the best lobby that we have got tonight. We have got, how many of my predictions in? I think 4 of my predictions in this one. I'm hoping they all qualify. NLR Esports with Ryan and Spicer. Then we've got Claret Racing with CRE Rappy and CRE Vittel. False Group Esports with the Trey and Sem. Trey did very well, actually, around a race that was ran last Wednesday in Japan. So he's already got good experience around here in EML, and hopefully going to provide that tonight in Legacy Division. Team Echo even have got Wacken and Nico Rassenberg. Nico Rassenberg, of course, PSGL, PSF3 or F4 driver, I think. Could be wrong with that. Grand Track 10, one of my very rogue predictions that I've put in, like I did with G League, of course, last season. GT10 Acid and GT10 Quartz alongside them. Quartz a very quick driver when it comes to one-lap pace. LR Esports have got Gambe and Bonnie in, and then Avicio Racing have got Finley and Lafiti, and then ET8 Esports, Zem and Radadal. That is a very stacked lobby, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, for me, I've got 5 of my predictions actually in this one as well. So I've got NLR Claret in there alongside FGE, GT10 and ET8 as my predictions for qualified. So this is a pretty important one for my predictions. But, you know, a lot of people, you know, should we say, call me out, rinse me a little bit for my predictions, FGE and CRA. I'll be perfectly honest. I did my 6, the top 6, based on what I thought would be fairly, you know, obvious sort of results. But I wanted to chuck in a couple of wild cards because, especially over the last couple of seasons in World, there's always been a team that just suddenly makes it out of the blue. Like NLR getting knocked out of nowhere in qualifying, for instance, was a big shocker for us, as was TF10 at one point as well. So, you know, for me, this is the reason why I said TRT doesn't qualify and then CRE and FGE make it. So, you know, let's be honest, it's not likely to happen. I'm not to, you know, disrespect the other teams. It might just be completely, you know, a 99% chance of that not happening. But the bottom line is that it's a prediction on my side that I think maybe a wild card, maybe a bit of a sort of weird scenario might happen, let's say. So big expectations for me on this one, I think. So I'll be holding my breath.
Honestly, I looked at your predictions when they came through, and I thought, has he gone like Xbox bias potentially in terms of how many teams that he's got? And I was thinking maybe I've done the same with the PlayStation guys as well, because I've done quite a lot of PlayStation teams just purely because I think
happy medium. I found a happy medium actually when we look at our results. So, you know, perhaps there is a little bit of implicit bias in that. You know, we know the teams that we see, but at the same time, you know. Oh, do I think it's False Groups Esports? Yeah, I'll go on then. Why not? And then Claret, I'm hearing things about them. Let's see what they can do. So that's why I chucked them in.
Jav has asked a very important question. I saw this on social media, actually, I think about a week ago. Do LR and TE have the same logo designer? Interesting take, because that was running rampant, I think. It's the same designer, I think, and the same team that has done Team Echo than they have done LR. and it looks pretty exact
Yeah,
in terms of the design. That could be potentially a I don't know, a canvas sort of design that has just basically thought,
yeah.
I'll just change the
Use the
lettering. That
serif.
yeah, I'll
Use the
just
serif. You use the serif. Chuck it in, and then put it next to the letter. That's low. You know, I am logo designer. You know, yeah. I mean, they're like basically exactly the same, aren't they? I think it's the same font as well, by the looks of things.
it
Crikey.
is. It is, which is making it even worse, I think, for that argument to be had on this stream. We have got 13 drivers, by the way, within the lobby. I believe we are waiting on 3 more to join. I'm not sure if there's going to be any updates in terms of everything. Joel's actually in the chat saying it's the Intrepid logo. It is the Intrepid logo, which I believe Team Intrepid got closed down, if I'm not mistaken. George Morgan, if you're in the chat there, I'm sure you are there. Anyways, let's have a look, because I totally forgot I had the predictions graphic actually loaded up in my OBS. Let's have a look at our predictions for Legacy Division for qualifier night. Luke, the big brass, the big boss, of course, here in Legacy Division, has gone for Bunga Racing Team, Team TF10, TRT, I think being the only one that has gone for TRT for tonight, Novus Racing, TTM, CPI, NLR, GT10, and Team ETA. I've got to be honest, they are very good picks from Luke's perspective. I would be concerned potentially about GT10 and maybe even Team TF10. I don't think they've got a strong lineup in Lobby 3, to be honest.
Yeah, I must admit, I found that a little bit perplexing as well. Actually, they've gone for drivers that perhaps don't, you know, absolutely show the quality of the team that they've got available to them. And that's not to distrust those particular drivers. They obviously believe that these are the drivers to get us into qualifying. So it's going to be interesting, get us through the qualifiers and get us into the event rather. So, you know, we don't mistrust, we don't judge the teams until we see if they've qualified or not. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one develops. You're right about GT10. I'm going to be keeping a firm eye on FGE though as well. As I said, they're in my predictions. They're in this particular event. I'm getting a lot of thanks from the FGE drivers for putting them in my predictions. You know, full faith to you guys. Let's see if you can do it.
FGE, off the basis that I've done a team event before and done a qualifying night actually before, and FGE was part of that, they went into tier 2. So that's my basis of why I haven't put FGE in. I think EVE could be the real shockers. I've had a look at their lineup, and EVE, Finley, and Lafitte don't strike as you as being two drivers that remain consistent within league racing. Remember, it's all down to one lap pace, and Finley and Lafitte are pretty good on one lap pace, which is why I've gone for EVE. By the way, I did make these predictions before I saw the lineups for tonight as well, as did we all, I am sure. So anything that goes towards bias towards any team may remain towards bias towards any team, but of course, we are all here for the same reason, all here to get the publicity and everything else like that for Legacy Division. My predictions, by the way, and I'll let Jossa run through his in a second. TTM, I've gone for Novus Racing, CPI Esports, NLR Esports, GT10, EVE being the rogue one for me, like I did with G League in Season 3, ET8, Bunga Racing Team, and Team TF10. I love how I've just ratified Team TF10, and we've all got them in the predictions.
Yeah, it's a fair point. We do actually have them in the predictions, but you know that's why we're a little bit anxious about the team that they've decided to field. But nonetheless, it's going to be really exciting. To see what they field. For myself, though, I went down the path, as I said, of picking 6 teams that I think are absolutely gonna qualify. I think they're and I think because those 6 we all seem to agree on, really, don't we? It's just those final 2 slots, effectively. And for me, the reason why I picked FGE is because I think they've got that tenacity to go for it. And then with taking TRT out of the equation was a big shocker for some. But again, massive things have happened in these qualifiers. Mistakes have occurred, and that ends up leading to the prediction that perhaps I might not have got right. But, FGE, I think, are in with a shout. And you know what? CRE, I'm hearing things about them at the moment, so let's see what they can do, and that's why I just chucked them in there to see what they can do. So again, I like to put, me, underdog stories. It's what it's all about, James.
Definitely underdog stories. I can kind of say the same with EVE, I think, and GT10 potentially in terms of my predictions. But Anyways, let's not bore you anymore with our lovely voices, except from the fact that we're going to be doing another 18 minutes qualifying session here for Lobby 2. Let's get straight into Lobby 2. We are now loading into the screen, as you can see on your screens. 165 of you tuning in. Thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. You guys make this work. You guys and these teams here tonight, no matter what stature their team is, they're all getting the same publicity. They are all getting the same treatment in terms of the action tonight, which is really good to see. It's a very equal platform as well, which we do like to bring here in Legacy Division. And you said it before we came live, Jota. It's one of these nights where we can get excited about. It's your favourite night. My favourite night is probably round 1, but it's Monaco again. So I'm probably not excited as much for that as I am tonight.
Oh, but I love Monaco at night anyway. It's the tradition at this point, isn't it, to have that first round at Monaco at night. So that's going to be fun. The calendar, of course, which we'll be able to rinse through, I'm sure, at another point. We've got to get through the qualifiers first, and now a big lobby at 16 ready to go here. As I said, we've got NLR, we've got CRA, FGE, Team Echo with GT10, LR, EVE, and ET8 here tonight. They'll be in for the second round, and they'll be hoping. It looks like the 15.5 seem to be the sort of medium at the moment, but there's definitely 15.2s and 15.3s out there available.
Definitely so, and Finley is the first man out on track right now for Team EVE for Visio Racing. Visio Racing did qualify for EML on a Wednesday night. That qualifying took place, I think, around Hungary and America, if I'm not mistaken. And they are very much doing quite well in EML right now. They are silent assassins, potentially. I know EML's only ran 2 rounds as well, but Finley is going to try and prove that tonight. He is going to get the airtime for EVE as well. Rodadels, I think, is behind him out on track, if I'm not mistaken, as well. It's good to see, actually. Avisio Racing have decided to go with a livery that we know is them, because they're in that blue and white. It is matching their logo, which is really good, matching all their house style. Finley is going to be the first man on track, and is now, because I took you through the first lap, Jota, you're going to run through this lap with Finley.
Yeah, why not? We'll go on with Finley on this one as well. Just a shout out to Spicer, by the way, and the rest of the NLR team, and Ryan as well for having a fantastic speaking in English, event with a fantastic livery as well in their favourite green. Going through then into turn 1 then from Finley. It's important that you get this one right here. Chuck it into 6 and then go on the right side. Oh, it immediately invalidates. Sorry, Finley. I think that's on me, that one. We'll move on to someone else then, perhaps.
I think we've gone with Rodadel, shall we? Actually, Rodadell's just started up on a lap now, and look at how many cars are cascading their way down in towards turn number 1. Just trying to see who's actually now second out on track. It is not Nico Rassenberg. Who is it that is second out on track?
I believe it's actually Jacquin at the moment as well. Jacquin is trying to get a lapping on the board at the moment as well. This is the Team Echo driver going through the right-hander and then obviously trying to be very careful on that power. Easy to lose it off camber through there. Through that left-hander, chuck it then down into 5th gear. Maybe drop it into 4th if you want to be fancy. Then go through the right-hander. Then you take that second sector split. Of course, it's purple. The guy behind him has just beaten him as well. I believe that is Quartz, who has just beat him in the second sector. Going through the left-hander, then GT10 driver just behind him. But it is about the Team Echo driver who's going to set the first time of this particular qualifying session. As said, 15.5 is what they're looking for at the moment, aren't they? So this is what it's all we're going to be looking for. Is it going to be that 15.5 that they're going to be getting initially to set the blocks out of the cage? No, 16.0 on that occasion. Quartz with a 15.7, beating him in the second sector by a country mile. Then it will be GT10 Acid who comes across the line for GT10, makes it a 1-2 before Spicer splits them up.
He does indeed. Azim now on the run to the line for ET8 Esports as well. The Turk, and he goes quick as 15.709. 1,000th of a second clear of GT10 Quartz. He's looking like a diamond block right now, I've got to say, out on track there in second. RC Gumbe there in third as well. He's now coming through for LR Esports into the right-hander of turn number 14, right at the top of the hill. Pretty much one of the highest points on the track here, of course, in Portimao. And Gumbe now coming down in towards turn 15. Can LR Esports try and shock themselves? Gumbe, though, hasn't validated his lap time. But what this lap time would have been is a 15.8. A 15.8 from Gambay, and that would have put him 5th ahead of Lafiti by a good 0.2 of a second. So Gambay maybe one to watch out for. Ryan certainly will be. He invalidated in his first run. NXT Bonnie, or Bonnie Lad, as I'm going to call him here, now in towards the right-hander at turn number 7. That's an expression, by the way, that we have up north, which is why I'm calling him Bonnie Lad. Now coming through the right-hander at turn number 8. And he is also part of the LR Esports team. LR have not been featured in any of our predictions coming into tonight. And judging by Bonnie on this lap time, as my TV has turned itself off, so it means you will see a cut in cameras right now. He is down in his lap time, which is actually relatively good.
Here's one for you, James. You'll like this one, right? So Dettel has just come into the pit lane after invalidating his, it looks like his in-lap, and not a very clean lap from Dettel with a 16.21. I'm sorry.
That's disgraceful.
No, it's not just disgraceful, right? It just disinfect everything after hearing that one. Awful. Nonetheless, Dettel not able to get the clean lap in and meets his teammate in the 16.2. So CRE a little bit off the pace at the moment as well, which puts me in big gulp mode, to be honest with you. Ryderdal just leaving the pit lane. 88 driver looking to set the precedent for him as well. His teammate as well, Azim, I think, is just trying to find him at the moment, actually. Where is Azim at the moment? He's at the top. Of course he is. Leading the way with that 15.709. So ET8, immediately showing the pace out the blocks. We'll see what Ryderdal's got when he comes off of his outlap, when he comes off of his outlap and gets on it.
Yeah, Dettel definitely going to be having that pun washed his hands, definitely, I think, after that one. That didn't come out as I planned it, to be honest. Out on stream, Nico Vassenberg through turn number 1 has a huge clip on the right-hand side curb, on the sausage curb, and has nearly invalidated his laptop. Very lucky to try and keep it invalid. Now coming to the left-hand turn number 4. Spreadsheet right now, as it stands, Joel's actually just posted it in the chat, 21.9 from Nico in the first sector. Novus Racing on a 130.8 average, 130.866 for CPI Esports, TTM in third on a 30.987. Remember, these times get added up and they get averaged in terms of an average lap time. So both lap times get added up, and therefore it forms an average in terms of the time. Hopefully I got that right. Nico Wassenberg now, the German, in toward the right-hander of turn number 11 at Portimao, right at the top of the hill. 51.1, it's matching, to be honest, Joaquin, Dettel, that sort of area, I think, is where he's going with this lap.
If you want a little bit of interest, by the way, in relation to the times that get distributed, if you don't set a lap time in any way, shape or form, then you'll get an immediate 1 minute 20 seconds. So you'll be basically out of the running as a result of not qualifying at all in this one. But Rassenberg coming across the line with a 16.0, but Finley coming across the line with a 15.6 for EVE. So your prediction starting to show a little bit of fruit at the moment, James.
Yeah, it is indeed. Finley there out on top. Currently Lafitte in P6 as well. That would be... I make it a 130.8 average right now. Ryderdal there goes 4th, actually, ahead of these guys.
Nice.
Spies are there in 5th, just starting up on a lap time. Quartz for GT10 is just starting up on a lap as well. He's 400s down through the first second. Just trying to see who was one of the furthest on. You saw something there. That's why I was cutting off.
No, sorry, mate. I was completely caught me off guard. I was in the middle of a drink. At the moment, it's about Ryan. He's just on a lap at the moment. Lost the rear ever so slightly. Going through 4. So the driver that I was expecting to set early precedence at the moment, he was caught up in a little bit of perhaps distracted traffic. He's caught up in it again, would you believe, on this lap, but a lot cleaner on this occasion. Be looking for a 50.1 if he can, maybe even a 50 flat if he can help it. Going through then into the big tank slapper, 50.9 in the end though. So really not a bad effort from Ryan in that second sector. So yeah, a little bit precarious at the moment for Ryan, losing the rear ever so slightly and locking up again on the right-hand side. So yeah, a little bit peculiar for NLR at the moment. They're looking to try and set themselves into the 15.7 through Spicer. So will they be able to keep as close as possible, or will Ryan improve? He will not even try it. He'll dive straight into the pit lane. He's not happy. 9 minutes to go.
Ryan normally streams his races as well, and probably will be streaming the session, I think, for NLR, and he will be absolutely livid, I think, in terms of getting distracted, not once, but twice, I think, in terms of this lobby and in terms of everyone around him out on track. It's just common sense to get out the way. I know Goldstein's off and you think like people might not try and get out the way. It's just common sense. People are on the racing line going much slower than Ryan. Just get out the way. It's as simple as that. It is very, very easy. It is one of the tricks of the trade. It's one of the basics of racing in Formula 1. Finley, though, out on top here from Azim in second, Quartz there in third. Justin, what are you seeing? You are seeing 9 minutes to go in the session. This is WOR Legacy Division Lobby 2. Myself, James Head, Jota alongside me in the commentary box. Finley out on top from Azim in second, Quartz there in third. I'll be honest, though. right now, I think in terms of the lap times, it is very, very open, I think, in terms of who might top the session, and in terms of who might get the cumulative time between both of their drivers. Right now, if I was a betting man, which I sometimes am, I would say GT10 are probably, along with ET8, topping the session,
Oh,
as
wow.
Rick Gambe comes out there for LRE Sports and thinks, you know what, screw your predictions, he goes P1.
A big appreciation to James, by the way, for cutting in whenever my internet drops out. I know what the problem is. It's for some reason I'm blocking the Wi-Fi chip on my laptop, which is causing my internet to drop out. So I've decided to remove it from my lap and now put it on a table. Though, really good stuff, though, from LR at the moment to get themselves with that 15.5. The track is getting faster and it is improving. Opportunity knocks now for drivers to really set a precedent on their third lap on this occasion here. So plenty of drivers now going on their out lap. A few people still in the pits, though, as CRE Rapids is a little bit out of sync. Goes straight into the pit lane after invalidating his run. But, you know, the majority of the drivers following the rule of thumb, trying to get as many laps in. But 24's infamous system of towing people around the circuit, no issue whatsoever. So as a result of that one, everyone is on. Everyone's got ghosting on, so no collisions can occur. But it can still be incredibly distracting as. Well, an incident I was involved in. Oh, a big spin on the outlap from NLR Spicer. So looking at that one there, he's going to have another outlap, you know, because he's just about to start on his lap here. No, he's going to give it a go here, I think, even though he's going to be hindered all the way down to turn one.
He will get the slipstream, I think, though, down in towards turn number 1, and slipstream is not allowed, obviously, within qualifiers, but because the ghosting's on, it negates that so much, and Spicer is going to go for this lap, now coming to the right-hander of turn number 2, into the right-hander now of turn number 3. People very much liking Rick Gambe right now in the chat. He's currently out on top, Finley in second, Azim there in third, even being talked about being signed for Team Chazoo, and Team ET8 there in the chat. Don't get ahead of yourselves, guys, it's only one session, 15.6. From Finley in behind. Spicer in that first sector, I think was down in the first sector. He's got sliding all the way through top of turn 5. As I think we have lost Jota, so I will come back in. Rick Gambe there on top, Finley in second. Azim there currently in third. Spicer now running through the right-hander of turn number 9, turn number 11 even, right at the top of the hill. Loses the car, 52 flat. He is down by 1.1 seconds in that middle sector. Rodadal is down on lap time as well. He's actually coming in behind him right now, coming to the right-hander of turn number 11, and again, very squibbly, but he's 2/10 up. Rodadal, 2/10 up, and the Swede looking to try and put it on top here for ET8 Esports. This is looking really strong indeed for the ET8 man. Now coming to the right-hander at turn number 14, and then in towards turn 15 at Galp. Rick Gambe out on top. I think the LR man might be going second with this, because Rodadal is flying through the final corners. There, Ryan goes third. Rodadal now, former NLR driver, to the top of the timings. No, he goes third. Loses all of that time in the final sector, and that might have been because he had very much less ERS to use coming through the final couple of corners.
Yeah, burnt through all of his ERS in the second sector. He's got a blister in the quick second sector versus everyone else, beating Rick Gambe actually by over a 1/10.5. So absolutely flying in that one. But unfortunately, he loses it all in the third sector without any power whatsoever to take him all the way from the top of the hill, down the hill, then back up the hill to the start-finishing line. And he came across the line with actually 0% ERS. He completely derated on that lap, and that's the reason why he's down in third. Not a bad effort, though, nonetheless. From there, horrible laps on this occasion, by the way, James. Everyone keeps sort of having tank slappers left, right, and centre at the moment.
Acid, however, though, is not, and he's a 50.7 in the middle sector for Grand Track 10 Racing, or Grand Track 10 Esports, whatever they're called these days. The French outfit, though, in toward the right-hander turn number 14. The LR the LR account, by the way, is there in there, and it's not the Leonis Racing that we used to remember back in the day for certain PlayStation. Acid now coming through the final couple of corners. He's going to be on the top of the timing sheet, I think, here, and he does. He goes quick as 15.566. 300th clear of Rick Gambe. Finley there in third. Who would have thought it? Lobby 2, saying it was quite wide open, and GT10 are currently topping the session. LR are in second, and Avisio Racer in third. I bet nobody had that on their crib sheets. And I think I either experiencing issues or Jota has gone again. Azim, though, coming now through the final corner on the run to line for Team ETA. Oh, and he goes top. 15.522. Now goes 400th quicker than that man there in second. Lafiti's going to try and do something here. He's back in the pit lane. 3.5 minutes to go. Azim there out on top. Acid there in second. Rick Gambo there currently in third position. So ETA now back at the top of the timings. Business, normal business, I think, has resumed so far here in WOR Legacy Division.
Normal business is now further resuming as I've moved my laptop from my table now into my hand and up in the air to try and maximise some kind of signal at the moment, because I don't think it's an internet issue. It's just my laptop can't seem to connect to the modem. Very weird. Either way, though, Azim leading the way from ETA, and again, no surprises. ETA, GT10. LR, I think, is the biggest shock for me, though, with Rick Gambe. I mean, that lap of 15.5 is brilliant and might just sneak them through. His teammate, though, on the other hand, Bonnie, I'm just trying to find where he is at the moment. He's down in the 16.1, so the last thing that they need at the moment is to have someone down in the 16.1s, whether someone's got a 15.6. They've got to take the opportunity. If Bonnie is able to find at least just a couple of tenths to get them in the 15.9s, maybe the 15.8s, they've got an outside chance. The 16.1, they won't qualify with that.
Definitely not. And currently, Trey down in 16th position. FGE are definitely fallen by the wayside, I think, certainly in this lobby right now. Because Sem's there in 10th, Trey there in 16th. As I say, Xbox bias, I think, kicking in with that prediction, I'll be honest, there from Jota in the commentary box here for FGE. Trey is a very good driver, though.
He had a couple of tank slappers. Everything's fine. Everything is absolutely fine, I promise.
Of course he did. Anyways, Bonnie has just started up on his lap time, running in towards turn number 1 for LR. Rick Gambit, they're currently in third. Bonnie there down in 15. Will it be a Bonnie lad by the end of this lap? Coming through the right-hander of turn number 1. Very neat and tidy through turn 1. Now through the right-hander of 2. Through the right-hander now of turn number 3. And then into the left-hander now of turn number 4. Really going now up the gears. Coming through turn 4. Then now through turn number 5. 21.8 in the first sector. He's a 10.5 down. But judging by his lap time, I think this lap time is going to come from in the middle sector. Not like that, though, coming through Tommy Vep.
Just keeping an eye out on FGE at the moment as well, going through the right-hander. 16.4 at the moment in that first sector. Heading through the second sector imminently, though, as he's looking to try and improve on his lap time. Oh, gets a little bit on the curb, though. Loses a bit of speed down there, but he's found 3 tenths in the first sector. How's my man in FGE?
He has indeed for now. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else on the lap time right now. Finley is up. Rick Gambe is up as well by 6,000ths of a second. So LR, he's now coming to the final couple of corners. Will it be hello rather than LR out on track for Rick Gambe now coming to the right-hander of turn number 15 at Gap, running now through the final corner. Is he going to try and pick up the toe? He actually is down on his lap time. So Rick Gambe, not sure what I was seeing there. He's backed off through the final sector. Finley is backed off through the final sector. Rodadal, however, is up on his lap time. How is Trey looking in the middle sector? Ah, nice.
Looking in. No, he's back. I'm back. Hello. Sorry, I did hear that in the last second. Looks like I'm a bit behind now. Great. Going through. He's looking all right in the second sector, actually. Might be a good lap time coming up here. I'm hoping in the 15s here then for Trey as he comes across the line right now. 15.995. Almost certainly puts FGE in contention of 13th.
Yeah, definitely so. And for now, at least, I think Trey is definitely going to try and pull the wool out of his eyes. Lafiti there down in 11th as well. Sorry, down in 12th even. Behind Sem. Rydal, however, coming now through the final corner for ETA. Is he now going to top the timing cheats out on track? On the run line, he does. Rydal goes quickest for ETA, and normal service resumes in Lobby 2 with an ETA 1-2. Acid is just starting up on a lap time right now. Rick Gambe is up through the first sector. 5 seconds down to the middle sector, so not sure what's going on there. Finley, 1200s down, now coming to the left-hander of the right-hander, even at turn number 11. He's about to come to the line. Ryan and Spicer maybe are in trouble. They've set pretty much the same lap time. Finley, however, is improving for EVE. Lafiti has got to try and find something. I'm not sure where he is out on track compared to his own teammate. He is up, though. Lafiti is up by a 50.8. 10th up in the middle sector. Has got to use now this battery all the way to the line. Could be a 15.6 coming in here for Lafiti. Do a Visio Racing. Do it. 5th position for Lafiti. Finley now coming out of nowhere. On the run toward the line. Goes quickest. Team of Visio Racing. Do not doubt me in terms of my predictions. Finley out on top. Rodadal there in second. Azim there in third. Acid there in fourth. He is actually backed off. This looks good for Team Avicio Racing. All of you were looking at me and thinking, what the hell is he doing in terms of predicting them? But right now, you have been made to look like absolute mugs there in the chat. Finley out on top. Rotterdam in second, Azim there in third. But we shouldn't get carried away because we've still got one lobby to come.
I've just made documenting these numbers on paper at the moment, so I've not done any calculation, but I think actually Avizio might have actually been faster than TRT on that particular occasion. They've been flying high. I'll double check that one in a few minutes, but nonetheless, overall, that's fantastic. That's great stuff for EVE as well. And what a performance as well from ET8 as well. Second and third respectively, 15-4, 15 with them in a couple of weeks' time in Monaco for sure. But, you know, it's all going to be about, once again, the 15-6s, the 15-7s, GT10 with Quartz, only a 15-7 for them with Quartz. Acid's 15-5 might just sneak them through, but they are certainly going to be on the brink.
Avizio, by the way, this is why I put them in my prediction. I did EML a couple of weeks ago, the qualifiers ran there, and Team Avizio Racing were very, very strong on a one-lap pace. That was around Hungary and America, albeit, but they were very strong on one-lap pace, and it's so proven to be. I should have faith in them a little bit more often, and Finley has proven my absolute jurisdiction in terms of being a lead commentator tonight. Finley out on top. From Rotterdam there in second, Azim there in third, with Acid there in fourth. GT10 not looking too bad either for our predictions as well. Rick Gambe there in fifth. Probably the shock, I think, out of everyone in this session. Lafiti there in sixth. Ryan and Spicer may have a rerun. I know Ryan certainly will, I think, for NLR, with them getting blocked in the early stages of that qualifying session. Quartz there in ninth. Joaquin rounding off the top 10. And then it's Rapids there in 11th. Sem in 12th. Detol there in 13th. Definitely looking washed now and maybe washing his hands as we speak down in 13th. Trey there in 14th. Nico Vassenberg in 15th. And Bonnie there down in 16th. For that lobby 2, 8/10 of a second, covering all of the drivers, absolutely insane. I did say it would be wide open, and that was proven.
Yeah, no, cracking that, wasn't it? And really wide open performance from a lot of people. But again, the 15.5 to the 15.7 seems to be sort of the main average here. So, you know, every 100th of a second is going to count here, possibly even the 1,000th at the moment. And I keep my fingers crossed for GT10 because they were looking really sharp at one point. But that's 15.7 might just be on the brink of them being knocked out or just getting through. We'll have to see.
Definitely. So it is one of those sessions, I think, that is going to live definitely long in the memory, I think, here in WOR Legacy Division. Lobby 3 is going to be had. I'm not sure if NLR will have that rerun, and if they'll be updated. I'm sure we'll be checking Discord as the night goes on regarding that. I'm not sure whether they'll get their own private run after all of these sessions, or whether they'll be allowed in Lobby 3, because I think Lobby 3 is definitely stacked and packed. Bunga Racing Team are in here. In fact, out of my predictions, I've only got 2 in here, which is actually pretty decent. Bunga Racing Team and Team TF10 being the 2 that I've got within my predictions here tonight. Team Extoria, maybe, just warn at your peril. They could be quite quick, I think, with their lineup tonight. Karumi and indeed, I'm just trying to look at my notes. Nam, the former Team Mentalism driver for on PlayStation, they're alongside each other, both former Team Mentalism teammates, of course. I'll run through everything right now, though. Bunga Racing Team, Joe Murphy and Justin, their lineup. Team TF10 have got Barak and Rayen. It can be a consistent lineup, but it can also be an inconsistent lineup as well for Team TF10. Team Extoria have got Karumi and Nam, as I've already mentioned. ASRT, who have got the Shark as part of their logo, which is a very nice touch. I don't think we'll get any Sharks though out on track from them. They've got Kevin and Keko, I think, in tonight. Sierra Esports, or the Sierra Racing Team, have got Case and PCHR, I believe in. Case, a former Norwegian racing driver, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for the Norwegian racing team that used to be around. Ultra Racing Team have got Devil and Gabrielle. International Racing Team, watch out for them potentially as a late qualifier. Sebum McCulley, very good, consistent on one lap pace. Future Racing Team have got Dan and Rain, good consistent lineup for Future Racing Team. And then Evolution Racing have got EVR Lancer, and that man again, Schumacher, is back.
Oh, Schumacher. That's going to be a bit of a fun time, isn't it? You know, the bottom line is, though, really incredibly stacked, isn't it, this one? And really, really busy. And I think if there are going to be people that are going to be added into Lobby 3 as a result of that one, it's going to get quite busy out on circuit as well. So that's going to be one to watch here, because if people get blocked or distracted, that may end up becoming a bit of a problem, especially if they qualify, because of course they may serve a qualifying ban in Monaco as well if they do qualify as and get a qualifying and blocking qualifying for the qualifiers. So yeah, a couple of things to keep an eye out on there as well with how stacked it's going to be. But I'm certainly going to be keeping my eye out also on BRT and TF10. They were in my predictions as well. And of course, always got a soft spot for future racing team as well. We'll see how the Wolves do.
Evolution Racing Team is who Schumacher is driving for, by the way. EVR have qualified for EML Tier 2, just to throw a little bit of a team event that I've covered actually into it. EVR have qualified for Tier 2 there, so they might be toward the bottom end of the field, but you never know with these events. One bad lap from one team, one good lap from your team could bring you completely and right into play. It is going to be all up for grabs coming into Lobby 3. I haven't got an invite yet to Lobby 3, but what we can do is have a look at what we've got. I don't want to start my virtual camera, thank you very much. Let's have a look at the calendar that we are going to have, of course, for this season. And in a little bit of a throwback to season 1, we go for full 24 round calendar. Of course, we've got Portugal tonight for qualifiers. The first round of 6 races that we will do, Monaco in 2 weeks' time at night, which is very good. And then we go all across Asia, I think, for the first 6 races of the season. Abu Dhabi, and then we go to Singapore for the first sprint race of the season. Bahrain for round number 4, and then it's Qatar for round 5, and Saudi Arabia for round number 6. Turn 5? Did I say that for Qatar? Round 5 is what I meant to say for Qatar. Saudi Arabia in round 6. Looking at the first 6 races of the season, looking at Monaco in particular, we're going to have a lot of action, I think, in Monaco. And it was the track that Schumacher killed somebody at as well in AOR back in the day. So I'm just hoping above hope that maybe EVR don't qualify just for that reason.
Oh dear, AOR, yeah, I remember those days as well, actually. Very, very long time ago, that one. But yeah, very stacked calendar as well to match with the stacked lobby coming up in a few short minutes. 24 races throughout the season. Most amounts of races in a season of World Online Racing's Legacy Division as well. So nice to end at the Circuit de Spa-de-Francorchamps because it's a circuit of historical prevalence, and who knows, we could end up having a historic team winning a historic title at the most historic of the tracks out there. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. And of course, never faint away from the sprint races as well. Got Singapore, we've got China, Azerbaijan, Miami, Canada, and Britain, all with sprint races as well. So an opportunity to earn some points there for the teams as well. But out of all of them, for me, it's absolutely going to be Texas, because that race, for me, I'm one of those sort of boring guys that really like strategy. It's a massive undercutting circuit. What the drivers are going to go for at round 18 will be a very peculiar one. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, round 18 is definitely going to be very peculiar indeed. But we have got a really stacked calendar, I think, in terms of the racing that we're going to have out on track. I'm personally looking forward to Jeddah. If you saw PC on PSGL and indeed PSF1 around there just a couple of weeks ago, Saudi Arabia was the race of the season, and it was absolute chaos. Qatar, I think, will be absolute chaos. It's going to be one of those, I think, seasons where it will long live in the memory no matter who qualifies. We are going to be seeing the drivers out on track very soon. We have been told, by the way, from a commentary perspective, that we are going to be last invited into the lobby, because I get the impression from what Lucas said to me,
Be very busy.
NLR are going to be, I think, within Lobby 3 as well. So that means we get invited last, and that means we're just sitting, waiting patiently, just like you guys.
Yeah, I mean, NLR getting invited into that one as well. That's going to be a very fun occasion as well. That means we're going to have a bucket load of teams all in this qualifier as well. So, looking at it now, though, this is the situation we're in now. We've got to just wait, sit around, find out what the result is going to be. I've just seen the tweets going up, Joseph, on the cards over on X at the moment, just getting those posts out as well and doing a great job with the first 7 teams out on the board as well. I believe the points are also going in, or the times are also going in to the spreadsheet as well. We've got the first results in there as well. The second ones will be in there imminently, I am sure. But if everyone is interested at the moment, Novus Racing, no surprises, are leading the way at the moment after the first round with a 30.814 on the time scale as well. So 30.866 for CPI and 30.987 for TTM. They're your top three. At the moment, as the result of the end of the round one, we've got to get the round two results in, and that will be imminently put in, I am sure, as we are just trying to get lobby 3 set up.
Yeah, I believe it is Oscar, if I'm not mistaken, that is doing part of the spreadsheet. I think tonight as well. Can see him in there as well. Looking through, yeah, NVR, CPI, TTM, very good, consistent teams. I think to have up there. EVE will definitely be in amongst that top three. I think, judging by Finley's lap time, judging by how Lafiti pulled it out of the fire as well. GT10 potentially could be up there, I think, within the top five. So there's going to be a lot of changes, I think, from the current top seven that you see on the grid, as of course, as the lobbies progress and as the times fly in. It means that we can sit around and wait for the results to come in as well, which is always very good indeed. What we are going to do, because I haven't got an invite yet to the lobby, I'm going to throw the trailer on for what is to come for Season 5 of Legacy Division. We are going to be back with you in 1 minute and 10 seconds approximately. Welcome back, everyone, to WOR Legacy Division. Apologies, I did promise a minute and 10 seconds. That was far beyond a minute and 10 seconds for that trailer. Hope you were all doing well. Lobby 3 is going to be having us, Great Owl presents, I'm sure, very soon indeed. I haven't actually got an invite just yet. I think they are still trying to get drivers into the lobby. But let's take another focus at what is to come with Lobby 3, because NLR being added into the lobby as well, along with the 9 teams that you see on your screen: Bunga Racing Team, Team TF10, Team Extoria, ASRT, Sierra Esports, Project Redline, which I think I mistook for Ultra Racing Team, who you saw earlier on, IRT, FRT, and EVR, all within this lobby. So this is going to be an interesting one. Stacked and packed, I think, in terms of some of the drivers as well that we've got in. The likes of Joe Murphy, the likes of BRT Justin, who have taken podium finishes before in Legacy Division. Barak's the same as well. I honestly think Bunga Racing Team TF10 to watch out for. Team Extoria, Future Racing Team, they are the two, I think, that could be the underdogs that may just qualify 9th and 10th.
Yeah, potentially. This is where I'm going to be keeping a very firm eye on how those teams sort of develop, actually, because it might be that they start off a bit slow but end up finding a bit of pace towards the end, as I have invited you, by the way, James, so fingers crossed you can get in the lobby.
Session no longer exists, apparently.
Nice. Why don't we give that one another go then before it starts? Because we've got about 19 seconds before it gets going, so let's get another invite out, and hopefully you can be part of this one. Otherwise, it's going to be BBC Radio 5 live for World Online Racing Legacy Division. We'll see, though, as Ano is in, so we are...
Yeah, I think Joss
on the front runners in this one.
Oh, I thought you just cut out there for me for a second there. I was just trying to give you a little bit of time to come back. But we are going to get loaded into the lobby right now. Looking at the drivers that we've got, Bunga Racing Team have got BRT, Joe Murphy and Justin. Team TF10 have got Barak and Rayen. Team Extoria have got Karumi and Nam. ASRT, the Shark Team, have got Kevin and Keko. Sierra Esports have got Case and PCHR. Ultra Racing Team, who are not Ultra Racing Team, Project Redline. I'm not sure who their drivers are, actually. I'm sure I'll get told that in a second. International Racing Team have got Seben McCooley, the Finn. Future Racing Team have got Dan and Rain. And then Evolution Racing Team have got Schumacher and Ivy Orlanta. I rushed that thinking that the countdown was going on, but the countdown's being restarted again. So we've got a little bit more time.
Yeah, a little bit more time on that one, I think. But with 10 seconds to go, immediate favourites out of the block surely going to be TF10 and BRT. But I would expect there's going to be a little bit of competition with TF10 in the mix towards the middle. And, of course, don't ever discredit the likes of Schumacher for getting in there and suddenly blisting a time that is a 14 flat or something daft like that. Well, let's see.
Oh, I haven't actually turned the people off in the lobby. I haven't actually muted them. So if you hear anybody coming through on my end, you will know why. And that is because I haven't done that in time. But there we are. We're going to get loaded into the lobby. Looking at some of the drivers that we've got, though. BRT Joe Murphy, race winner, podium setter, of course, last season in Legacy Division. BRT Justin, podium setter in WR Console Tier 1 this season as well. Team TF10 have got Barak and Rayen. They are probably the two teams that are going to star, I think, tonight. But as I say, Team Extoria, Karumi and Nam, just on one lap pace, they are pretty consistent. FRT are pretty consistent with Dan and Rain. And you mentioned Schumacher there as well. He could shock the whole apple cart, I think, if he goes top of the session and EVR are there to play. And if EVR are there to play, it could mean a big team that we have predicted in all of our predictions could go out.
Yeah, I mean, Schumacher, this game suits Schumacher's driving style. It's a very aggressive game. You have to turn the car fully in, obviously, to get the majority of the grip. So if you've got a wheel and you drive like Schumacher, then you actually could end up in a pretty prime position. So we'll see how he comes out as well for his team. Keep an eye out on the FRT boys, who are both leaving the pit lanes at the front of this. I think that's a statement to be had, isn't it, from the FRT guys leaving at the same time, both at the front, wanted to set the early doors out there. So, yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how Rain develops alongside his teammate in Dan.
NLR, by the way, are asking who is Samato. Definitely not part of their lineup, I've got to be honest, here tonight. We have got, though, NLR actually not in this lobby, I believe. I'm just looking very much through the lineups. We haven't got NLR within this lobby, so I think they're going to get their own private session along with anybody else that might have steward reports coming through their way as well. Apparently Jav, it's him. So it might be Jav out on track. I don't know why on earth he's texting there in the chat if it was him. But Dan, FRT man, now coming through the final couple of corners. I'm going to take you through this lap time on board with the FRT man of Dan. Let's just hope he doesn't invalidate. Dan in towards turn number 1 this time. And let's see what the Future Racing team can do. Can they qualify like they did in Season 3? Let's find out for Future Racing team and Dan on the run now down in toward the right hand out of turn number 1. Very out wide on the exit of the curve. Very neatly done though. Through turn 1, 2, and then now through the right hander of turn number 3 at Lagos. Now through the left hander of turn number 4. Not looking too bad at all from Dan. Has a bit of a snap of oversteer. 21.4 in the first sector is quick through the first sector from Dan. Now in towards turn number 5. If I'm Dan and I'm an FRT fan right now, I'd be very happy with that first sector.
Yeah, not bad first sector. 21.6 for his teammate just behind at the moment, so a couple of tenths down on his teammate at the moment. Last thing that FRT needs, known for their consistency, but they need to make sure that they are closer than that. 2 tenths is a massive gap, considering how close at the moment that these qualifiers are at the moment here. 50.7 for Dan in that second sector.
Yeah, not looking bad at all for Dan. Rain in the middle sector as well, just in behind him. Shu was setting a very quick lap time as well through that middle sector split. Dan now coming through the right hander though of turn number 14. Now down in towards turn number 15. Dan now coming through the final corner for Future Racing team. They've got Rain right in behind as well. Let's see what Dan can do on the run to the line. 15.5 to start off the night. Not bad at all. Rain to the line. 15.9. Always going to be the slower driver compared to Dan, I think. But Rain there in second. Justin now splits the pair. 300s down on Dan. Seed now on the run to the line for IRT. Has he done anything special? Goes fourth in the end. Ahead of Keko. The right Kai has just left the session as well. We'll try and get him back in just a second. But Dan out on top, Justin second, Barak there in third. Jav's prediction there for P1, I see that in the chat. Nam through the final corner for Team Extoya. Now on the run to the line for the French outfit. And a 15.9 puts him into 6th early on. But it is Dan out on top, Justin there in second. Rayen there currently sitting in third as Case comes to the line. Goes 10th, and Karumi through the final corner. Let's run on board with him just before we pass back over to Jota. Dan, Justin, Rayen currently in the top 3. Barak top 4. Karumi makes it P5.
Yeah, not a bad effort, actually, that from FRT. I think Dan, excuse me, will be really, really happy with that. 15 initially out of the blocks with 14 minutes left in this qualifier. Really good opportunity here for him potentially to be scratching a good bucket of time off of that one here. So FRT are in with a shout of potentially qualifying quite well here. Whether or not they'll be in the top 10 is another question. They really need to get Rain and find him at least another couple of tenths, because a 15.5 and a 15.7 is not a bad qualifier. Might put them within a shout.
Who's the other team that I said would be quite consistent in this session as well? Team Extoya, 5th and 7th.
Extoya. Yeah. I mean, Extoya showing an initial pace there with a 15.9, 3.1 and a 9.98. The issue is, though, is that it's not fast enough. I don't think a 15.9 would be enough. It would just be on the brink at the moment, because it's just such a close barrier with the second times yet to be added to the table. So, you know, if they are going to qualify, it will be mighty close with those 15.9s. Plenty of time to find them and plenty of time left on the clock.
And I have a feeling they're all going to be obliterated by this man that I'm on board with. The fake Irishman that I'm going to call him, Joe Murphy, now can do the left-hander of the left-hander return number 11. That is a running joke, by the way, between us and BRT here in the comms box. Joe Murphy now through the left-hand return 13. About to start on his lap. Samato and Orion Exotic also on lap times right now. Samato there down in 15th. Exotic there in 16th. The white Kai still hasn't joined the session, I do not believe. Right down to the bottom end of the field there as well. But Dan just now on top. Rayen in second. Barak there. Rayen in third. Barak there in fourth. Karumi, Rain, Nam, Seed, Kevin, and Jordan Lancer for EVR round up the top 10. Mankeko, Devil, Case, Samato, and LTK Tarrier. That's a mouthful to say if you're drunk. Down there in 15th with a 17.9. Joe Murphy was lacking coming through turn number 1 there, but he is looking quite consistent through this first sector split. 21.7 though is not on par with the top class.
Not too bad at the moment. Getting a little bit of... if this lap doesn't turn out to be successful, then through the killer right-hander, gets a little bit of the sausage curb, but actually very well placed from the BRT man as the fake Irishman, then heading through up the hill, top of the right-hander, then chucking it through the right-hander, avoiding the sausage curb. Take as much of that corner as you can with a 50.9, basically. So there's a couple of tenths off of Dan's time at the moment, so it should be in the 15.8s, I'd imagine, at the moment. Oh, not the best exit, though, through the final couple of corners then, and it will be power all the way to the final bit here. Overtake being used all the way up the hill, then back down the hill, and then he'll be going back up the hill before the start-finishing line, as he'll be setting, I believe, to be a 15.8, 15.7, finds a 10th.
Not bad at all there from Joe Murphy. Schumacher was on a lap 51.4. In the middle sector from Schumacher, well off from what we normally expect him to be for EVR, down there in P19 right now, just about to come through the final couple of corners. Moikuli is on a lap time as well for IRT. I think he's actually just 2 cars behind on Schumacher right now, coming through the final corner with Schumacher on the run to line, round about a 16.5? Oh, 16.1 in fact from Schumacher. Shouldn't really doubt him that much. They're down in P10 right now. Ryan Exotic, as I say, 46.2, has got a lap time on the board. Moikuli, in fact, is in the middle sector and he's actually not running on a lap time right now for Team IRT. But Dan out on top, Justin there in second, just Rayen there currently in third. Dan is actually on a lap time right now. Coming through the right-hander of turn number 11. And he is up in that middle sector. Purple in the middle sector, 50.6. One of the fastest middle sectors I think we've seen all night. So this is looking like a decent lap for future racing teams. Dan coming out through the right-hander of turn number 14. Chav in the chat saying Schumacher's returned as Mick. Yeah, definitely, I think, after that performance from him down in P10. But Dan now coming through the final corner on the run to the line with the FRT man. And he goes quicker, 15.451. Justin no responding now through the final corner, 1100 top. Going to try and find a big final sector. Nearly did, and he does improve in terms of his lap time. Rayen was a 10th and a half up, and now he's invalidated, so Rayen will not get a run in, and Barak is 3,000 down through this middle sector. Oh, has a huge snap of oversteer through turn 13, and Barak will be counting his lucky stars. He didn't actually escape across the track there, and nearly get stuck on the right-hand side on the grass, as he now comes through the final corner. The Spaniard now into the pit lane.
Oh, you know what? I'm absolutely livid. I didn't actually put FRT in my predictions now because I was very close to putting them over CRE in this one. So with Dan now with a 15.4, there's a real opportunity here for them to qualify. They just need to get rain into the 15.6s, 15.7s, need to find at least a 10th or two, and they may just qualify on this occasion. Schumacher, by the way, he's actually equal to FRT Dan in the second sector, so he's got the pace, but his first sector is appalling. He's 4 tenths down. So it's all about that first turn. Is he playing a bit more of a conservative game, Schumacher, knowing that you can really kill a lap time just at turn 1 alone? Or did he make a mistake, I wonder? Either way, there is definitely pace in Schumacher, and he might just find a lap time.
Yeah, he might just find a lap time indeed. Hopefully the audio, by the way, has just fixed itself. If it hasn't, then I will try and fix it. At least it's in lobby 3 it's doing this now, and not right at the start of the stream where it just affects the whole stream. Dan out on top from Justin there in second. Rayen there currently in third. EXT Nam, however, is not on a lap time. I thought he was. I was going on board with him there. A little bit too trigger happy. Was my Elgato, I think, just coming out of sync there slightly in terms of that. But Dan out on top, just in second, Rayen there in third. Looking to see if there is any improvements going on right now. Jordan Lancer is on a lap.
Boo.
Boo?
Boo, Karumi. Boo, Karumi. Look, I was doing really well. I was following him at that point. I was following him, and he was a 10th up in the second sector, and he was flying. And then as he went through into the third sector, he got a horrible tank slapper going through the second to last corner. So that's why I was chanting boo, because the EXT man was on his way to a 15.7. But in the pits he goes, 7.5 minutes remaining. Joe Murphy coming across the line to start his lap.
Jordan Lancer going EVR 10th and 11th now. So Jordan and Lancer quicker than Schumacher. Never thought I'd be saying that tonight, I'll be honest. Here with 7.5 minutes to go in the session. Dan from Justin from Rayen, the top 3. You mentioned Joe Murphy. Let's run on board with him now through the left-hander of turn number 4. And running towards turn number 5. He's a 10th and a half up in the first sector. But remember, Dan set a 21.4 in that first sector. So Joe Murphy, in terms of Dan's lap time, is a 10th and a half down at least. Right now, coming in towards turn 7 and 8, so we've got to find All of this time, I think, on Dan in this middle sector right now, through turn number 8, very neatly done. Now coming down in towards the roller coaster, through the left-hand of turn number 9, in towards Portimao at turn number 10, right at the top of the hill, the highest point on the track here. That we go with Joe Murphy, and he's a 10th and a half up, so he does respond in that middle sector. He is looking absolutely nailed on, potentially to go pole here.
Yeah, he's pushing at the moment, is that fake Irishman, doing really hard. Going really hard at the moment is Murphy, going through that final corner a little bit later on the power through that final corner, so might lose a tenth or two going through there as he goes all the way down to the start finishing line. Will he beat the 15.4? He will, with a 15.4 of his own, with just a little bit less than half a tenth separating him from Dan. That first sector was blistering, but that second sector was perfect.
Watch out for Barack, though, for Team TF10, middle sector, 50.7. He is up pretty much on par with Joe Murphy, actually, in that middle sector. He was slightly quicker than Joe in that first sector as well, so Barack, as long as he can get a very good final sector and get the ERS on, coming through the final corners, right to the curb there, aggressively through turn 14. We'll lose him time, but he's now going to get 40% of ERS coming through gap through the final corner. He's going to use this all the way to the line. This is a great usage of ERS from Barack on the run to the line, and he only manages 4th in the end, 15.6, so maybe that mistake at the top right-hand side, at the top right-hand corner through turn number 14, that right-hander, definitely cost him, I think, rather than trying to improve on a lap time. Speaking of improving on a lap time, Justin there is 300s up in the first sector. Now coming through the roller coaster through turn 9 in toward the right-hander now of turn number 10. We'll see what Justin's middle sector is like for BRT. 50.6 for Justin. He's well up there.
Yeah, he's up there at the moment. BRT now starting to show their cards a little bit here, and I think Joe Murphy and Justin showing exactly what the Bunga Racing team have got on offer at the moment as well. Big fan of the BRT team, big fan of a bunch of drivers in there as well. Big shout out to Stacey, by the way, over at BRT as well. She's absolutely wonderful. FRT Dan goes even faster with a 15.3. Justin comes across the line with a 15.4 of his own. He's 82 thousandths up in the second sector, but Dan is flying at the moment for the Future Racing team and really setting the bar. But the problem is his teammate is still only with a 15.8. They need to find another couple of tenths on Rain at the moment, and he's only got 5 minutes to do it in.
Nam's not looking too bad on lap. Nam is not looking too bad at all on this lap time. 2 tenths up from EXT Nam. Looking to try and set a 15.6, 15.5 maybe. Oh, not like that though. Coming through turn 13 has a huge snap of oversteer. Cumulative times, by the way. Novus Racing out on top on a 30.814. CPI second on 30.866, ETA 30.977. The current top 3 as it stands right now. Nam on the run to line, 15.7, but that final sector definitely will come back to bite him. He would have improved a lot, I think, in terms of him not making that mistake. McCulley is down on a lap time along with CPI, Keckle even, not part of CPI, another imposter that we've got within the session. Keckle there in 14th, Devil's there in 15th as well. Orion Exotic has set a lap time right on the board, and he is going to set another lap time by the looks, because he is up on this lap time for, I believe, Project Redline, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken with that. Now coming through the right-hander of turn number 14, through the right-hander now of turn number 15, Dan, Joe Murphy, Justin Coney, top 3, 3 minutes to go in the session. Orion Exotic, is this going to be an exotic and spicy lap time from him? 18th, and probably matching my pace around here.
Yeah, I mean, but significantly better than his 142 earlier on in this particular lobby. It would have been the first person to actually accumulate more than 20 seconds in the qualifying, which would have been absolutely appalling. And that means he'd have actually scored less than XPG with Martin, who actually didn't even go out and set a lap time. So, yeah, that would have been peculiar. But nonetheless, he manages to get above the 1 minute 20 and actually sets a pretty decent lap time, actually, in the 17.6 at the moment. But it's surely got to be a fine, at least a couple of seconds, my dear friend, as FRT Rain is on an out lap at the moment. So keeping a firm eye as well on Rain here, because this is critical here. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this man at the moment as well. So, you know, Rain has got to find a 15.6, really, hasn't he? Let's be honest, with that 15.3 from FRT. FRT are at real possibility of qualifying here, but that 15.8 is going to cause them to lose so much on their cumulative time, as he is still in none at the moment, and he's very late to getting into hot lap mode from Rain. He's left it so late, and he's going to hemorrhage time all the way down the straight as a result, and he's trying to compromise that by using a little bit of extra overtake, but that's going to compromise him for the rest of his lap. lap, chucks the car through the right-hander. If I were him, I'd take an L here and just abandon it because he's definitely lost a chunk of time in the first sector as a result. We'll see, though.
Yeah, compared to Joe Murphy, he was 400s up coming through the first sector. Ryan now through this first sector. Sorry, Rain even through this first sector. 6,000 down. So he hasn't actually lost much time through that first sector. Back on board with Joe Murphy, though, who is one of the first out on track on this final run. He's now coming through the final couple of corners in this middle sector split. 50.6 from Joe Murphy. Bang on what Justin was doing. He just needs to save, I think, a little bit more ERS for this final push, like Barack did on his final lap. If Joe Murphy can find that, and he's got 59-60% of ERS to use that through the final two corners, more than enough to get him to the line, Joe Murphy should be going and toppling Dan right now. Coming through out the turn 15 for BRT. Does BRT return to the top? Yes, they do. 15.355. Great lap time there by Joe Murphy. Dan there just about to start lap time in second. Justin there in third. Barack, however, did mention just about him there. 500s up through the first sector. Middle sector split coming in. 50.7. He's 600s up through the middle sector. So Barack is gaining the time and has got more ERS to try and burn through the final couple of corners.
Again, Rain, he abandoned his lap on that particular occasion, and then he decided to not use overtake again, or not use any ERS until he was just going up the hill. So very late call to use some kind of ERS management there. Through the right hands there, though, of the turn one. He's invalidated. That might have cost FRT a possibility of qualifying here. 53.91. Is that enough for FRT? Dan was Rain's 15.8. I really hope it's so, because that would be so disappointing for FRT if they miss out.
Yeah, really disappointing in the gravel there as we roll on board there with Rain or Karumi sideways as well. Now coming to the final couple of corners, this car is absolutely squirreling away. Through the right-hander now of turn number 14, through the right-hander now of turn number 15. We have just been informed, by the way, in the chat that reruns will include Tootie, Ryan and Brando at the end of the session. And if NLR and TRT qualify, it will be off-stream. So we're going to be going off, I think, live from the live action after this. Dan on the run to line responds, though. 15.320 goes quickest. That could be enough for FRT. The more time that Dan gains, the better it is, and the more buffer that they've got over each other and over other teams. Justin, however, concerned, because Justin's 200 up through the first sector, and the Dutchman now coming up into the left-hander of turn number 9, the former F1 Esports Challengers man, and he invalidates, actually, coming now through turn number 8, so Justin down on lap time would have not been improving. Barack is down on the lap. Rayen coming through the final couple of corners. He's definitely on a lap time. Burning the ERS now for Team TF10. Now coming through the final couple of corners. On the run toward the line then from the Team TF10 man. Can Rayen pull it out the fire for Team TF10? Nearly goes fourth. 15.466. His teammate there as well. Barack there in fifth. So TF10 are definitely, I think, in. BRT are definitely in. Whether or not FRT are in remains to be seen, as Samato now comes through the final corner to finish off this lap time. He's going to be bailing into the pit lane, I think. Dan out on top, Joe Murphy second, Justin there in third. Who would have thought an FRT driver would be topping the lobby 3?
Yeah, none of us thought that one, to be fair, and I think, you know, Dan can hold his head very, very high after that performance in the 15.320. I believe, actually, that might be the second fastest time that's actually been registered, if I'm right in saying here. I think it is. I think the first team was Novus with that 15.2, but Dan. If so, Dan is going to be crowned as king at the Future Racing team. If not, they've got to get some work together. They've got to work together to try and get that consistency back up, because that 4/10 and 5/10 gap is just too much for FRT.
Definitely so, and unfortunately, I think that is going to be time off. So if we are going to be off stream, we'll be letting you know very, very soon indeed. If we are, I'm sure we'll get direction around that very soon indeed. But what we can do is not bring you that. That's the wrong graphic. Bring you that. It is the qualifiers. It is the Legacy Division lineup even that we've got for season number 5. It is, of course, Monaco. Who else? And what else but Monaco at night, round 1 of the championship. Abu Dhabi for round number 2, and then, as I say, Singapore round 3 for the sprint, Bahrain for round 4, Qatar for round 5, and then Saudi Arabia for round number 6. And then we have a bit of a break week for Halloween and for my girlfriend's birthday, which is very nice. Australia round number 7, and then we've got China for round 8, Spain, Imola rounds 9 and 10, and then Azerbaijan and Netherlands in the second half of the season. Then we have got Sao Paulo, Miami, Las Vegas, Mexico, Canada, and Texas after Christmas. And then Japan, Hungary, Britain, Austria, Italy, and Belgium to round off the season. But Monaco for round one in 2 weeks' time. It's going to be very interesting indeed. And judging by what I've just been told, we're going to have to waffle on a little bit longer because we are going to be getting, I think, a Lobby 4, and that is going to be streamed live.
Yes, that will be streamed live. We are getting a Lobby 4, which is going to be fun to say the least. Harvey is just putting in the numbers now for the final bit of the lobby, so we know where we stand. At the moment, we've just got the FRT times in as well, so they've got a 31.1 as a result of that one. That is horrible because that puts them just behind TRT, but just in front of GT10. So they are definitely in the mix, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts them in 7th. Remember, there's only 9 places remaining, so we still need to put the other teams in. So as soon as and when those get added in, we'll let you know of the standings. But so far, that 15.8 could be the killer for the future racing team.
And I think, I'm judging by what's going on from that session, BRT are definitely in, Team TF10 are definitely in. It's whether or not EXT are in. That, I think, is going to be the main question. Because they were up there, FRT 31-1. In fact, actually, judging by my very quick calculations, Team TF10 I think are fine, BRT are fine. I think NLR is either in P9 or they're out. It's either one of the two.
That's going to be tough, isn't it? And times are just being put in, as we said, so we're just waiting on those times being put in. So, yeah, that's going to be peculiar. I don't know if you know, James, of who the people are going to be in that lobby for. I know that we're going to have some people have been decided that they're going to get another run out, but because we're getting a 4th lobby, that would indicate to me we've definitely got a bunch of drivers who have all appealed to the stewards. This is too much. We've been blocked, and they've said yes, so we're going to get another lobby in.
Jav apparently in the chat wants Twister. I don't have Twister at all within my home, so that is definitely not going to happen tonight. And if it was, I wouldn't even grace you with the pleasure of seeing us trying to do Twister on the floor and me having to put my camera on and embarrassing myself in front of absolutely everyone that is tuning in to this session right about now. Oh, you've seen something?
So I've just joined the lobby. I've just received an invite from Luke, bless him, who's working his socks off at the moment. Unless you've already said this, in which case, fair enough. Both of the TRT drivers are in. So TRT are getting an entire run out again. We know Ryan is in here as well, so we've got all of those drivers getting themselves ready. So NLR Ryan is also getting another run out as well. So still waiting on those times from Harvey. Harvey, please, chop. Let's get on with these times, please. I'm desperate to see where people stand. It'd be interesting to see, because if there's people just on the brink of qualifying, this could be pretty massive, to say the least. BRT's Joe Murphy also in as well, so BRT getting another run out.
They are indeed, and I'm just about to join the lobby for myself and see who is going to be in this session. As you mentioned there, 2D Ryan, Brando, and Joe Murphy. Funny enough, 2 Xbox and 2 PlayStation, just to throw it out there on the console side of things. Are they going to be the only 4? Or are we going to have a few more in? We did see a little bit of blocking, I think, within Lobby 3 there as well. So there might be cases for other teams potentially to have that as well, which would be a shame. But at the same time, you've got to try and treat everyone as fairly as you can. I mean, Luke, bless him, I think Dirk put in earlier on the Discord, and I read this comment a little bit earlier on, saying that he wanted to try and police over like 50 POVs of people and to try and police over the qualifying sessions and try and watch every single live stream that's out there. That's frankly impossible. And for wanting that, I think it's a really good thing that we're getting this lobby for. As I say, I will show you right now, actually, what is going on in this lobby. They are the guys that are in, just to confirm. And it should be really interesting indeed. Spies are saying, let me beat GT10. GT10 are ahead of NLR, is what I think I have seen in the spreadsheet. So yes, they are. They're ahead by about a 10th of a second, but this is getting updated right now. It will go live, I'm sure, very soon indeed. But as it stands, I can tell you the top 3. I can definitely tell you that. MVR out on top at 30.814, CPI second at 30.866, and ET8 third at 39.77. So that is a change from Lobby 1, because ET8 are now third, and they're only 100th of a second ahead of TTM in 4th.
And remember, this is not including anyone from Lobby 3 at the moment. We've just seen BRT has just been added, and we have, according to this, a new leader in the championship as a result of this, in the qualifier rather, in BRT, a 30.786. That puts them around about 300ths of a second faster than NVR. So we were right about calling BRT in, but we didn't expect him to be towards the front by that margin. So that is a fun watch, to say the least. As I said, FRT with that 31.1 puts them just behind TRT. You'd think TRT would be a safe qualifier alongside BRT with that 31.1, but because of the close proximity of the teams, ETA 30.977, TTM 30.987, and then you've got EVE with a 30.995. It's pushing people down. We are just about to get started with this lobby, I think.
We are indeed, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have got 4 drivers in. I swear I saw 4 names there instead of 3. My mind might be playing tricks on me. But we are getting runs out for NLR. NLR, as it stands, I will say, are out. They are in P10. I've just done the maths there. And they are out as it stands with FRT and BRT to be added and calculated up in terms of that cumulative time. They are going to be there. And judging by what Luke said, I think, earlier on in the chat, judging by the how this is going to work, I think we're going to see individual drivers out on track, given the time to shine, given a part of the lobby where they can actually get that lap in, go on their full lap, and then come back in the pit lane. I think that's what we're going to be seeing for every single one of these, if I'm not mistaken. And if that is the case, it is fair, it is crucial, and it's definitely crucial for NLR because they've got Ryan in. Spicer is fine, but Ryan, we saw him get blocked at least twice. So he will have another chance to try and rectify NLR. And that might put GT10 out. If my maths is correct, which I think it is. As TF10 has just been put in actually now.
Yeah, potentially. Now, I said TRT would be a team that I think could get knocked out here. So the fact that they are getting a double run out is massive, because that could be the runs that get them through. And obviously, with only 4 sort of drivers out there at the moment, that's obviously going to sort of minimise the opportunity of being blocked or being distracted by ghost cars in front. But critically, James, the track may not evolve as fast because there's, of course, less drivers on the circuit. So it all balances out.
It does indeed all balance out indeed. And I think actually it has just been updated for everything. And NLR currently are 11th. I was expecting them to be 10th, but they're 11th. So they need to pull. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. I think we're still waiting on another lobby, aren't we? Have we got another lobby to go on as well? ASRT, VR, IRT. These have all raced, haven't they?
They have all raced, but I think their times are not being put in right now because they're underneath all of these teams that are currently within the top 10 or 11 teams. So, at this moment in time, I will say now live on stream, NLR need Ryan to improve massively. Massively. They need NLR to improve and Ryan to improve 2.5 tenths of a second. And that is just finding it on a lap time compared to what he did. Ryan's lap time, if I'm not mistaken, was either a 15.4, which I think the Spicer's, or 15.676. If NLR's is a 15.676 and that's Ryan's lap time, they are currently... Oh, actually, it's just been updated. I'm getting confused. Hang on. We'll wait for the guys to do
it. I think what we're better off doing is just waiting on Harvey here to update the standings, because it looks like he's getting a few numbers mixed up here. Because as far as I'm concerned, I thought NLR were through, and if not, just sneaking through. So we just need to clarify on those times. But at the moment, they'd just be sneaking through. Oh no, he's clarified again. Apparently, they're now at the moment anyway. BRT are absolutely running riot. We know that one there. 30.786 is extraordinary, isn't it? It's an extraordinary set of events for BRT. They are setting the precedent. Are they going to be a title contender this season? I hope so, because they are a team that we're going to be watching. Novus, of course, always going to be the team that we're going to be keeping an eye on. critical thing is, where's Shizou in all of this? Because they automatically qualified as champions last season. So where would they be in the flux of all of this? The thing is, we don't know. They don't have to qualify. They're already in.
Judging by how they did in another team event that I qualified, they qualified 6th. So if that's anything to go by, and most of these teams are actually in the same event as well. The likes of CPI, ETA, TTM, EVE are all in the same event as Shizou are that I cover on a Wednesday night. Which, of course, if you want to, you can tune in tomorrow night. I'm just going to throw it out there for a little bit of self promo that I'm going to deliver on this stream. Joe Murphy, however, though, is going to try and promote himself with this lap time. Now coming in toward the left-hander of turn number 11 and 12. Joe Murphy and BRT are fine. They have qualified. This is just purely, I think, maybe to rub salt in the wounds of every single team that's behind them right now. Because Joe Murphy did get blocked on his lap time. Now going through turn 15 at Gap. Let's see what the Brit can do through the final corner at turn 15. And let's see if they can just about dominate with BRT Joe Murphy in towards turn 1.
Yeah, the British man, if you will, as he heads through into turn 1, he gets the opportunity to really, really set the precedent.
No!
Not like, oh, wow, okay, that's one way to do it. You need to turn right at that corner, friend. He needs to go back and put a new set of tyres. I'm wondering if that's laying some rubber down on the grid, I wonder. Very peculiar, but I don't know if he's just trying to add some grip, maybe, because, of course, with the lack of rubber on the circuit, is only going to end up not improving the lap time, because of course the evolution of the circuit is going to be significantly slower. So yeah, peculiar goes out there and he's just having a little play around on circuit at the moment.
Yeah, you were completely right with that, because judging by how he's taken the session right now, he is definitely putting grip down on the track rather than
Purple Sector 1 though, James. Purple Sector 1 though.
Purple Sector 1, which was, I think, around a 31 through the first sector, maybe.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
He'll be fine. Are you sure it's not affecting BRT's lap time right now in terms of the...
Right, 39.5 if you're interested.
A 39.5 in that first sector. Lightning quick. I think BRT's Joe Murphy's needs to have his time changed, honestly, and it'll make things a hell of a lot more interesting. But we're not getting that. He's just putting the rubber down on track. 2D, though, however, is going to qualify again. TRT right now are safe. They are completely safe right now with everything to be filtered up. They are currently, by my calculations, 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So 2D and Brando, they're safe. They don't really need to do much. But if they want to improve, they can improve. And 2D, I'm sure, will improve, as will Brando, because they're two very, very good drivers. As I think we have we lost him? Is he still here? I think we've lost him for a little bit.
I'm just arriving back in now. I did not hear a single thing you said in that one, so I'll let you run riot on that one, and we'll have another go.
Yeah, let's run a more though with TRT 2D now coming to the final corner. Down in towards Primera at turn number 1. Ryan just leaving the pit lane there as well on track. And in fact, he's coming through the middle sector. So 2D in towards turn number 1 with TRT. The Romanian invalidates immediately. This is the pressure situation, the pressure cooker that the driver's been put in. CPI were put in it last season with Igor Jelen. The time before that, I think it was FRT, if I'm not mistaken. So the pressure cooker can tell. 2D would have set a 21.7 in the first sector, but he's invalidated his lap time, which is a shame, but at least he's got 10 minutes to try and find another run out. Ryan now coming through in toward the right hand of turn number 14. NLR definitely need this compared to TRT. NLR need 2.5 tenths from Ryan. It's a bit of a tricky situation for them to be in. Ryan, though, if there's anybody that can do it, it's probably him down in towards turn 1.
Absolutely, he's a driver with extreme caliber, so he's not going to be dancing around on the circuit. He's going to get on with it here, going through then into turn 1, chucks the car through the right-hander, and invalidates the lap immediately. And that is it for him, so I don't know if he's going to get another run out, or if he's just, in fact...
His steering!
I think, has he disconnected? His steering, I think, yeah, there it is. So he's lost. I think he's had a hardware failure. His wheel has disconnected, so... That's a little bit inconvenient. He'll have to head back to the pits, get another set of tyres on, and he'll have another go. That is very peculiar. It looks like he just gave up into the corner, but that is very significant. That's a wheel disconnect. Has he got hardware problems now? Oh, and he's just massive lock up into the corner. So he's testing now, isn't he? He's testing everything.
Better to test it now rather than towards 2 minutes to go within the session. Put it that way. Ryan Unfortunately, not going to get this lap time on the board. People having issues, and he spins as well now through turn number 8. This is not the Ryan that I normally like to see within qualifying. It is definitely a wheel disconnect, I think, judging by some of the reactions there from the NLR boys as well there in the at this moment in time. We've still got 9 minutes to go. Ryan will be given another crack, I'm absolutely sure of it. Brando will be coming out the pit lane very soon as well. TRT, as I say, are absolutely fine. Ryan in second position, right now out on track, hasn't set a lap time on the board, but needs to find 2.5 tenths of a second from somewhere. And around this track, Jota, I've done Portugal in league races around this track. This is a very tricky track to try and find Tam at, as he just absolutely demolishes that polystyrene ball. As he retires from the session, that's it. Ryan's done. Ryan is done. That is a big shock. So Ryan is done. He must have only had the opportunity to do one chance, and that is it. He is done. The German will not be getting through an NLR for the first time, I think, since I've been covering Legacy Division, have not made it through in qualifying, which is a lot.
Excuse me, I am back now. Yeah, I just decided to hold my laptop in a specific position and it disconnected me again. That is shocking. NLR, I think this is the second time since I've been commentating, we're surprisingly knocked out, and it's followed in sequence with a qualify, not qualify, qualify, not qualify, qualify. So, yeah, very weird situation here. We'll have to.
Oh, as we are losing.
Is trying his hardest to get those times in at the moment, but I think I'm going again, aren't I? We'll see.
You are indeed, and we are going to be going as well, because that's it. We've been told that that is it. Yeah, Ryan will not qualify again. He will not be given the chance. He is very angry, apparently, according to Jack Harrington there in the chat as well. We can end the stream. TRT are through, which means everything will be off stream. Doesn't matter about Brando or 2D. It just matters about their position rather than anything else. So what we can confirm right now, because TRT are through, are the 9 teams that are going to be joining Team Chazoo within the sessions coming forward into Legacy Division for season number 5. And they are topping the timing sheets, Bunga Racing Team on a cumulative lap time of a 30.786. NVR second on a 30.814. CPI third on a 30.866. ET8 fourth, 30.977. Very close, by the way, between 3 teams here. TTM in fifth on 30.987 even. And then Avisio get in. They got through. They're in sixth on 30.995. Team TF10 in seventh on a 31 flat. TRT are in eighth on a 31.1. As I say, their qualifying is going to take place off stream. That doesn't matter. As I say, positions might change with FRT, but they are through. And GT10 are through in 9th position. I believe I read that, right? Have I not? It's FRT,
No,
sorry.
FRT.
It's FRT. It's FRT. I'm jumping ahead of the gun. FRT are in 9th on a 31.124. So just to confirm, BRT, NVR, CPI, ET8, TTM, Avisio Racing, Team TF10, TRT, and FRT are through. Let's have a look at our predictions then before we... Oh, there we are. Oh, no, because I've got the calendar up, that's why. Let's have a look, though, and dive into our predictions very quickly before we do end off the stream. Judging by everyone's prediction, we all had NLR in, so that's already a bust. I think I've got 8 right.
I know I've definitely not got that many right, to be honest with you, on this one here, as it looks like Harvey has completely balked the standings here, because apparently BRT are now the fastest. No, they are fastest. In fact, no, pardon me. I've got BRT and FRT mixed up for some reason. What am I on about? Sorry, Harv. Yeah, so there is the lineup on that one. I finally got it here. But critically, we do have some off-stream reruns happening. So the lineup that James has given you is very subject to change. We may end up seeing some people get another go, might have an opportunity to climb up the standings. I keep an eye out on potentially GT10 on this one. But as regards to my predictions, CRE were 13th, FGE were 15th overall in that one. So I thought that FGE would get above CRE on that one, but CRE were close, to be fair, with that 31-7. So not too bad.
Yep, just been confirmed in the Discord, by the way, about the 9 teams that are qualified. That is now, I believe, official because FRT have obviously through. They will not be qualified. Well, they will be qualifying again off stream, but I can tell you that both me and Luke, I think, have got 8 right. He hasn't got NLR right, and everyone else is in. TRT are in there for him, so that was his Rogue One. Avisia were my Rogue One. And then there's just you, Jota, belonging, I think, in the relegation zone like Sheffield Wednesday, I think.
Shut up. The teams that, you know what, I tried to throw them in there to see what would happen and see if they'd have a bit of fun. CRE getting 13th is not a bad effort, to be fair, but shout out to the reserves nearby, by the way. GT10, NLR, and EXT, the top 3 reserves. Fantastic 3 teams, actually, to be in there if any of the teams in the top 10 drop out. So that's going to be fun to say the least. But again, potentially subject to change. But as far as I'm aware, BRT, NVR, CPI, ET8, TTM, EVE, TF10, TRT, FRT are through alongside Team Shazoo.
Yeah, and as I say, TRT are going to take place off stream with their qualifying. It will only change the position of where they are in the standings rather than anything else. But they may not even go out on track. They may be done. They may just settle for 8th position and they may think they've done enough and they're through, which is fair enough to them. What we're going to do, though, is end the stream because we're just waffling on, I think, at this point, like we always do here in WOR Legacy Division. A reminder, of course, of the calendar to come up with in 2 weeks' time. Monaco to start off the season in Monaco in the Côte d'Azur, as it's called, of course, in Monaco at the Circuit of Monte Carlo, where the rich and famous meet the night sky for Legacy Division for Season 5. Abu Dhabi for Round 2, but Monaco, Round 1 of the Championship, 2 weeks' time. Be there or be square. Really hope you are going to enjoy what is to come over the 24 rounds that we've got for you, plus a few break weeks in there as well. But the 24 rounds that we're going to bring you for this season of WOR Legacy Division. We are going to end off and sign off for tonight. You'll hear a word from our sponsors, Gridfinder and Next Level Racing, who provided me with this lovely chair, by the way, that I'm setting in. So thank you so much to Next Level Racing for that one. But we're going to end off the stream here. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Tick that notification bell if you're brand new to the channel. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. For myself and Jota, take care of yourselves. We will see you in 2 weeks in Monaco. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.